folks. Thanks for joining me today. So, today is a special day because today is the day that we remember those who fought in war, in World War One, World War Two, the Civil War, the wars that are going on right now in the Middle East. It's to remember why they were fighting, and it was for our freedom. So it's kind of sad in a way that the majority of the veterans have passed away. And that leaves us to remember their stories. And that's what today is all about. Is to remember those that who fought for our freedom and maybe lost their lives or lost maybe some limbs, and then what happens to them afterwards? The PS or the PS no PDST, post traumatic distress syndrome. I can't imagine what they would have to see when they're over fighting for our freedom, and it's just very, it touches me knowing that my grandfather, who is no longer with us, but my grandfather fought in those wars to give us our freedom, and it just touches me. So what we're going to do today is we're going to paint a poppy on this November 11th of 2024. So I'm going to use a heart rock because I thought it was very fitting that a good way to say thank you, and that it's heartfelt. That's why I used the heart mold from the Happy Dotting Company. I don't use this mold very often, but when I do, I have a purpose for it. So this is the stone that we're going to be using today. So you watched me paint it black for my primer, and then you watched me take my compass out and draw a circle with that, and then I painted gold on that circle. Now, what I'm doing now is I sketched on the poppy shape that I wanted before I painted the gold, and then I painted the gold. I feel like I'm repeating myself here. And now I'm just going to use my black paint, and I'm going to go over the gold where I want the petals to sort of overlap, sort of like the poppy is growing through this gold circle. And I don't know why I wanted it to do it this way. I just thought it looked really cool in my sketches. So I just wanted to try it out. So um, if you're interested in any of the colors that I'm using in this tutorial today, I will list them in the description. I will list the brand name as well as the actual name, like that the paint color is called. But that does not mean that you have to use what I'm using. I urge you to please use what you have in your stash and go from there. Most poppies are like an orangey red color, and so I will be using Poppy Orange. How fitting is that? By Delta. And I'll be using some Country Red from DecoArt Americana just to do some shading, as well as I'm going to be mixing a little bit of black and a little bit of white in this, just so that you can see how you can use the minimal amount of paint and do some shading. So the primary color that I'm going to be using on all the petals is going to be that poppy orange. That'll be my base coat or the base color. And I'm putting it on rather thick because I really want it to have really good coverage against the black. And so I will do this, and in spots I will add extra just to make sure that it has some complete coverage. And then poppies have these weird looking leaves. They're almost jagged. So I put a couple of those in too, and I'll be using some greens to color those in and give them shading as well. So I think that this is a fairly simple design, and I hope you follow along and you enjoy it as much as I did when I was painting this and coming up with the idea for it. And yeah, I just Remembrance Day means a lot to me. And I like to show my veterans my appreciation of my freedom, my ability to bring tutorials like this to you into your home, or on the subway or the bus or wherever you are that where you're watching this. And yeah, it means a lot to me. So now I'm going in with my blending brush and I'm blending out all of those brush strokes. And that's why I put it on really thick so that I could maneuver the paint around and really get some good coverage on the black background. Now you'll see on that one petal there, there's a little bit of a black stripe in it. It's because I didn't wait for the paint to dry completely. But you know, I I guess I wanted to get this done, but it's okay because it works with my blending, with the shading and things like that later. So now the center, I use the country red, and then I'm sort of mixing in some of the black. I put some dots in first and then mixed it in, and it gave me a very, very dark red color. It's almost black, but I think it worked out just well. Now I'm putting on some Kelly Green from DecoArt, and I'm just doing the complete leaf as the base color, the same way as did the leaves. And I'm doing this now while I'm waiting for those petals to dry. So I move on to one other portion of the rock that I want to paint while another section is drying. So it's just how you can keep the progress going and keep the creativity going. It's just something I do. I don't know if you do it as well, but it works for me. Now I did one leaf one way and another leaf another way. And it's whatever, really. It works out in the end because I do some fixing up and things like that. So yeah, one looks like it's a really nice smooth one, and then the other one is almost like a pine branch. So anyways, once the petals are dry in the flower, I painted on again another layer of the poppy orange, and while that layer is wet, I'm throwing in some country red near the center of the flower, so it gives it a darker shade. And then I come in with some black paint and I put in some little stripes for where the petal creases would be, and I do that again while the paint is still wet so that I can feather them out and get more shading but still have some definition of those I guess veins or the wrinkle parts of where the petal is folding up. So I do that for all the way around for each and every single petal. And here what I'm doing is I'm taking more of that poppy orange paint and I'm just starting at the tip of the petal and bringing it back into the darkness, or the black swipes there that I did, just to be able to limit the amount of black that's being dragged into it. So now I'm using again the country red, dragging it down. Then I bring in some of the black with a fine lining brush, and again I just sort of work it in with the wet paint that's already there. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to take this opportunity and ask you to give me the thumbs up if you like this video. I would love you if you subscribe to my channel, and make sure that you ring the notification bell, as it will give you notification every time I post something new, and you really don't want to miss anything. So make sure you do that. And I want to thank everybody for joining me today on this Remembrance Day or Memorial Day, or whatever it is that you call it in your country. I'm actually really surprised as to how many countries I make it to. I asked a few tutorials ago, to leave in the comments as to where you were from. And I had some from Australia and England and India, and it blew my mind away. I had no idea that I was reaching screens all around the world. It humbled me very much, and I'm very appreciative all of you that join in with me. Whether it's every time I post a video, or if it's whenever you get a chance, or if you're just sort of browsing and you stumble upon this. I'm just so thankful for everybody who spends that little bit of time with me once a week, or once maybe you save up and you binge them all on a rainy day. I don't know, but I really want to thank you all for joining me as I embark on this journey of growing my YouTube channel family, and I really do appreciate all of you. So thank you very much for joining in and watching me paint this cute little poppy in memory of all of the veterans that have and are and will continue to fight for our freedom and for peace in the world. So let me know in the comments below your thoughts on Remembrance Day. Do you go to a cenotaph? Do you stay at home? Do you have to work on Remembrance Day? What do you do that's special, that you take time out to give your gratification and your thanks to the veterans and to the individuals who are putting their lives on the line every day for us? I'd be really, really curious to know what it means to you. Or if you just want to say hi, just say hi. I read all of the comments. I am so blessed to have so many people join me, and I feel so lucky to have you in my world. And I comment back. Sometimes it might be just a little heart or a thumbs up or a smiley face, but know that I have read your comment if you get a reply on that, and I do do my best to make sure that I am commenting to everybody, because you took the time out to message me. I need to take the time out to message you back. So just know that. Yeah. I'm sorry. I guess I'm a bit emotional today with it being the day that it is. And it's just, yeah, it's one of those days to sit and just sort of reminisce and be thankful for things. It's another thing too, like Thanksgiving is coming around the corner there for all of my American friends. And we had our Thanksgiving in October. So I guess it all goes hand in hand. So you just got to be thankful for what you have and know that, you're loved. It doesn't matter if you don't know it or who loves you, but just know that you are loved. Boy, I'm very sentimental today. Let's get back to the painting. So I used Kelly green, and I added a tiny bit of black to it just to give it a darker color, or a darker shade of it, to put on the veins of the leaves. And now I took some Kelly green and I added a little bit of white, and I'm just adding some light shading to it. So that's where the light source is coming from, and it's hitting the tops of the leaves. And then to give that middle vein the illusion that it's raised up, I put a light line on the bottom of the dark line, just so you have the illusion of light and dark. And I'm barely touching the rock. I'm just giving it a quick kiss with my brush. And then I'm just outlining some of those other veins for the leaves there. And then I outline it and clean it up with some black paint. So that's what I'm kind of doing now. Cleaning up that gold line as well, the circle that I had painted on. and giving more definition to the petals themselves. And again, just using the lightest of pressure so that I can get like the smallest line possible for the petals of this beautiful flower. I was so impressed on how this turned out. I was very, very happy with it. And now I'm just adding some gold in the center there, little dots of gold. And then I'm coming in with some light. So I took the poppy orange and just added a little bit of white until I got the color that I wanted. So in reality, I only used, if you wanted to include the black and white that I use, I've used one, two, three, four, five, six different colors. Sorry, I was just counting what I have written down. I make notes when I'm painting these rocks for you so that I can continue to give you all this information as I paint. Sometimes I paint these and I don't get them edited for a little while. So it's good for me to write these down so I remember what paint colors I use so I can pass that on to you. But again, like I said at the beginning of the video, I really hope that you use whatever you have available to you. I mean, as long as you have black and white, you can make any color in the rainbow, and I urge you to do that. Everybody knows that these days money is important and is required for things that are needed rather than wanted. And there's so many other ways that we can do this. So that's what I'm showing you here today. So now I want to put on a word. I'm going to put on the word remember. There's so many things that you can put. You can put never forget. You could write least we forget. You can put where the poppies grow. There's so many things that you can put on this, or just leave it the way it is. But I decided to go with remember. I didn't want to go with a negative saying like never forget, because I want it to be like more positive, more inspirational. And if you write the word remember, then it's more of a positive note to always remember. And that's what I'm doing here is I'm just, I hand wrote it on with some fancy writing, and then I'm just going over with my fine lining brush and my glorious gold that I love so much. And I'm very, very carefully doing the letters. And I'm doing them upside down because I feel that with the painting closest to me, it's a little bit easier for me to be able to write these on there. So I do that and I let it dry, and then I wipe everything off with a damp cloth. I might have some chalk still left over from my General's charcoal pencil, and I don't want that to be seen once I resin it. So I let it dry for 24 hours, and then I give it a good wipe, and then I give it a coat or two of resin, and it's finished. So there you have it, folks. Life is what you make it. So get creative.